Poseidon is the violent and ill-tempered god of the sea. One of the 12 Olympians, he was also feared as the provoker of earthquakes and worshipped as the creator of the horse, a hot-blooded deity. Poseidon had many disputes with both gods and men, most famously with Athena and Odysseus. Poseidon's name is very old, and its meaning is lost to us. Various authors have tried to translate it as either husband of the earth, or lord of the waters. Plato says that it means knower of many things, but this is much less likely. Portrayal and symbolism. Poseidon is nowadays known exclusively as a sea god, but in ancient times, he may have been the god of the earth and fertility, or even the supreme god of the sky. In fact, in portrayals, he looks very much like Zeus, a distinguished, bearded man with a dense curly hair and piercing eyes. Homer says that his shriek was as loud as one of 10,000 men combined. Oftentimes, he is depicted riding a 4-horse chariot and wielding a trident over the waves. The trident is his most recognizable emblem, though his son, Triton, carries one as well. It is said that Poseidon struck a rock with his trident to create the very first horse, Scyphus. During the Gigantomachy, the god used the trident to break off a piece of the island Kos, under which he subsequently entombed the giant pony boats. This piece became today's island Nisseros. Epithets. Since Poseidon had multiple powers, the ancient Greeks invented various epithets to describe his manifestations and praise him. To some, he was the savior of sailors, to others the averter of earthquakes. Yet a third group venerated him as a creator and tamer of horses, and to a fourth one he was the leader of nymphs. Family. Poseidon was the second son of Cronus and Bria, after Hades, and their penultimate child, before Zeus. Hestia, Demeter, and Hera were his sisters. Like all of his siblings aside from Zeus, Poseidon was swallowed by Cronus at birth and, thanks to Zeus, afterward disgorged unharmed. However, some say that Rhea managed to hide Poseidon from his father's rage as well, either in a flock of lambs in Arcadia or in roads to be raised by Oceanus' daughter Capheia and the Telchines. Disputes with other gods and men. Poseidon challenges Zeus. Poseidon had a very violent character, impulsive and hot-blooded. He couldn't put up with Zeus' arrogant behavior as a ruler. So, he teamed up with Hera and Athena to teach him a lesson. However, with the help of Thetis and Briareus, Zeus overpowered his challengers. Poseidon, Laomedon, and the Trojans. As punishment, he sent Poseidon and Apollo to serve the Trojan king Laomedon, for whom they built the vast, beautiful wall surrounding Troy. However, when the time came, Laomedon refused to pay them. As a result, Poseidon, even against the advice of Zeus, fought on the Greek side during the Trojan War, sending a sea monster named Cetus to torment the Trojans. Poseidon, the Greeks, and Odysseus. Even so, the narcissist that he was, Poseidon destroyed the fortifications built by the Greeks, firmly believing that his walls are the only buildings of the type worthy to remain, and mad at him for blinding his son Polyphemus. He had a decade-long feud with one of the greatest Greek heroes, Odysseus. Poseidon and Athena, the god of the sea, was also greedy, especially when it came to earthly kingdoms. Once, he even wanted to obtain Athens from Athena, claiming that the city would have much more benefit from him than her. To prove this, he struck his trident into a rock, creating a seawater stream which welled up in the temple of Erechtheion on the north side of the Acropolis. Athena, in turn, planted an olive tree. Cecrops, the first king of Athens, decided that Athena's gift was more useful since it gave fruit, wood, and oil. Athena kept Athens, and ever since then, the olive branch is a universal symbol of peace. Poseidon's women and children. Just like Zeus, Poseidon had a weak spot for women. And, much like him, he was not exactly loved back by them. However, what he couldn't acquire with romance and gentleness, he did with violence and craftiness. Peneus and Medusa, for example. He took by force both Peneus and Medusa, who was afterward transformed into a beast by Athena as a punishment for allowing this. After Perseus beheaded the pregnant monster, Medusa gave birth to Poseidon's children, Chrysaor and Pegasus. Demeter, Amymone, and Aether to trick Demeter, who turned into a mare to reject his advances. The god transformed himself into a stallion. Afterward, Demeter gave birth to the nymph Despina and the talking horse Arion. With Amymone, Poseidon fathered Nauplius. With Aethra, the divine hero Theseus. The list goes on and includes hundreds of consorts and at least as many children. Poseidon and Amphitrite. Amphitrite, a Nereid, was Poseidon's faithful wife throughout. She didn't want it at the beginning, though. In fact, she fled to the Atlas Mountains to escape the god of the sea. However, Poseidon sent Delphinus to win her. Honey-tongued, Delphinus did the job in flying colors. As a favor, Poseidon set his image among the constellation Dolphin. Amphitrite bore Poseidon 3 children, Triton, Rhode, and Benthesycline. Learn some of the epithets the ancient Greeks invented for Poseidon in the very brief 20-second Homeric hymn. Or have a laugh or two with Lucian while reading his modern-sounding dialogues of the sea gods. Naturally, most of them include Poseidon. Who was Poseidon? Poseidon is the violent and ill-tempered god of the sea. One of the 12 Olympians, he was also feared as the provoker of earthquakes and worshipped as the creator of the horse. What did Poseidon rule over? Poseidon ruled over the sea, the earthquakes, the floods, the storms and the horses. Where did Poseidon live? Poseidon's home was Aegean Sea. Who were the parents of Poseidon? The parents of Poseidon were Cronus and Rhea. Who were brothers and sisters of Poseidon? Poseidon had 6 siblings, Hades, Demeter, Hestia, Hera, Zeus and Chiron, half-brother. Who was the consort of Poseidon? Poseidon's consort was Amphitrite. How many children did Poseidon have? Poseidon had 14 children: Theseus, Triton, Polyphemus, Orion, Belus, Agenor, Neleus, Atlas, Rhode, Benthesycline, Arion, Chrysaor, Pegasus and Nauplius.